following is a presentation of the National Sim Racing League of America. Enjoy the race. Hello everybody, this is Napa Fan here on the NRLOA channel, and we are here at the Richmond International Raceway, or the Richmond Raceway if you want to be really technical, for qualifying in the Norfolk Southern 400. And we got Uncharted guys ready to take to the racetrack here. You might notice this is the different version of Richmond. And this is actually the 2007 version of Richmond. And some of you might know that the camera angles in this racetrack are not the best. Well, I just found one of the best hacks you could possibly have. Copy the original cam file and paste it onto the new one. And there you go. Simple as that. And we're going to have a great race here at Richmond. All 42 cars will be able to race. On the original version of Richmond, I had it set so that they shared pit stalls at the end. That did not go over too well. So we're redoing it on the 2007 version where we can have a 42 car field. And that means we're going to have a great race for tomorrow's 80 lap event here at Richmond, the Norfolk Southern 400, alongside Trey Wright. And his driver, Al Legacy, won here at Richmond last season, so what does it take to get a win here at Richmond? The passing's a little difficult, but might get a lot of cautions to benefit you.
Well, Richmond is seen as like the driver's ideal racetrack. It's 3/4 miles in length. We have seen a lot of good finishes here, not just the like Chick-fil-A Cup Series, but the other series as well. So like the other night we saw pretty good racing in the Indy Lights Series race, and I think we're actually going to be here. We're going to be in for a good one.
Yeah, definitely. Of course, the Indy Lights race actually hasn't gone up yet, so you guys can check that out later in about an hour right here on the NRLOA channel. But like Trey said, pretty good race, and I think we'll get a good one here as well. And the times are going to be a little bit faster on this version of Richmond for the Cup guys than I actually thought they would be. So that's also a little bit of an added bonus here. These guys going a little bit faster. But here's how they line up right now. 67. That car is driven by Cameron Gaju this weekend. He's top of the board. Casey Hoffman just went to the top of the board in the 97. Of course, these are all the same guys who attempted to qualify at Rockingham, so you should be pretty well familiar with who's in these rides. 74, that is Dale Salzman. Emmett Juckham in the 98. 85 of Joe Rutkowski trying to make it into the show. 18 of Cookie Helms. And then the 71 car is Nathan Baird. And then we have the 36 of Colton Yo yet again trying to make it into the show. And that is it. So those are the 8 drivers this weekend attempting to qualify for the Norfolk Southern 400 here at Richmond. Fastest driver right now is Casey Hoffman, development driver to Caleb Hoffman, trying to make it into his first ever show. He and Emmett Juckham are the 2 fastest guys right now in qualifying. They keep on improving their lap times here, so that is something we might want to see later on when we get to the regular qualifying session for all 42 drivers.
Yeah, as you can see, the lap time's only 0.2 of a second separating Hoffman from Colton Yo. So if you slip up once, that could be you could just be sitting at home watching the other Uncharted guys running.
Yeah, it's Emmett Juckham in the 98, who is second fastest. Casey Hoffman keeps on improving, but so does Cameron Gaju, who went to the top of the board in the number 67. Very fast time for the North State Racing driver, and right now it's Cameron Gaju and Casey Hoffman who would qualify their way onto the show. Remember, top 2 in the Uncharted qualifying session advance onto the main event. And right now, looks like it would be Gaju and Hoffman making it on to tomorrow's race at Richmond. And I gotta tell you, Casey Hoffman just keeps on getting faster. Back to the top of the board with a 20.603. And he has beaten his fastest time a couple of times in this session already. So a lot coming out of this 97 car of Casey Hoffman, looking to make it into his first ever Chick-fil-A Cup Series race.
Yes, we only got 15 seconds of qualifying left. I think Hoffman is going to get the pole for the charter drivers. Remember, Caleb, his protege, got the pole for this race last year. Fortunately, he wrecked out, but I think some of those genes passed on to Casey.
Yeah, especially when you think about the way Caleb likes to consider Casey as his son, even though that's not even possible. But we just had another guy go to the top of the board. Cookie Helms in the 18, knocking off Cameron Gaju. And we're probably going to get about 20 more seconds after this, and that'll be it. So one last chance for Cameron Gaju in the 67. Joe Rutkowski. How about him in the 85? He got the win last night in the Turkey Hill Series, and here he goes to the top of the board. He pushed out Casey Hoffman, and now it's Joe Rutkowski and Cookie Helms, the two drivers who would advance their way on. Even after all those fast times that Casey Hoffman had, it's not gonna be enough. How about that for Rutkowski? He's making it on to tomorrow night's show alongside Cookie Helms. Of course, that's not where they're going to start, but they're going to qualify along with the other 40 full-time drivers to see who gets the pole position for tomorrow's Norfolk Southern 400, 6 p.m. Eastern Time over on Napa Fan. Don't forget to check it out there. That's a little bit of a heartbreak there for Casey Hoffman. He was definitely one of the fastest guys consistently in that session. He got beat out by Rutkowski right near the end, so very interesting turn of events here at Richmond for the Uncharted qualifying session. Anyways, let's go ahead and get to the main qualifying session. 10 minutes of action here at Richmond to see who will start on the pole for the Norfolk Southern 400. And hello once again, we are back at Richmond and ready to set the field for tomorrow night's Norfolk Southern 400 at Richmond. And this is going to be a pretty interesting race, especially now considering that we're not going to have people sharing pit stalls at the end of the field. So that's a plus there. I will say we tried to do it at the original Richmond, and there were just too many issues. Too many guys got taken out because they were sharing pit stalls at the end. Should not have happened, so I figured it all out. Got the new 2007 version, copied over the cam file, and here we are, ready to set the field for tomorrow night's 80-lap race. Tristan Allen, first driver on the racetrack in the number 2. And he could use another good finish. Believe he's still top 10 in the points coming into this race, so he's currently in the chase. But he's still going for his first career Chick-fil-A Cup Series win. And here at Richmond, passing might be a little difficult, so you might want to get a pretty good run here tonight so you can possibly have a chance at winning.
Yeah, as you can see, Herschel Arvin Alonso coming out. I'm not sure how the 2007 track is. I'm not sure how many different racing groups there are, but I remember this race was very interesting last year, has been the past years, not with just this series, with all the other series, so I think we're in for a good race.
I definitely think so as well. Jesse Turner just went to the top of the board. Pole sitter at Rockingham, still trying to get a top 10 this season. And he's got the fastest time right now in the number 77. He is not wasting any time, but neither is Tristan Allen. He's back to the top of the board in the 2, so it's Allen, Turner, Arndt, John Arndt in the 3rd position. Roger Ray just got beat by Joe Rutkowski, and then the 47 of Richard Kinghorn, and everything's changing now. Got all these guys out here on the racetrack trying to get some good times in. These guys are going a little bit faster than we saw them go at the original Richmond, I will say that. So that might be something to watch out for in tomorrow night's race, because these guys are going to be going faster. Could be some cause for some trouble here at Richmond if they're not careful. But yes, you might notice something about this race. The Norfolk Southern 400, well, you know that driver just went to the top of the board, and it was Trey Bartow, but John Arndt just beat him. Trey Bartow is the Norfolk Southern fan, so this is a race I'm sure he'd love to win, and especially this season. It's been a tough one for Trey Bartow so far in the Mobile One Racing team. Chase Marks, the owner of this team, really have not had too much success yet, but Bartow is a fantastic driver. And how about the top 5? You got John Arndt, Nathan Stapleton, Jesse Turner just went back to the top, and Joe Rutkowski to 2nd. And now William Brock in the 88, and Trey Bartow goes back to 2nd in the number 4. And then with that, Alexander Rowe goes to 2nd in the 68. Now we saw this in Uncharted qualifying, where they kept on getting faster as the session went along. That hasn't really been the case in many of these qualifying sessions yet this season, but it's the case here tonight, so it's going to be a wild session for the pole. How about this one here in this qualifying session?
Patrick Smith just got to the top. Nope, Tristan Allen back to the top.
Tristan Allen is back on the top of the hill here at Richmond. So it's now Tristan Allen. Now it's Richard Kinghart in the 47. They just keep on getting faster now, don't they? The Atlanta winner, other than his Atlanta win, it's been a tough season for the 47 Richard Kinghart, but this is a good sign for him. Cookie Helms just went to the 3rd position. And Richard Kinghart right now holding on to the pole position here at Richmond. How about that for the 47?
You can see, Justin Roberts, the Riverside winner, just got up on the outside pole. You can see, like, we saw this in Uncharted qualifying, just like you said, just faster lap time after faster lap time. There was really no prediction to who could get up, as you can see. Herschel Irvin Alonso back up to this outside pole.
Yeah, Alonso, a pretty fast time in the 40. He's had a tough season for Zach Ryan International, but trying to get something done here in the number 40. A Chevrolet has not won a race yet this season in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. They have been completely shut out of winning. It has pretty much been Toyota and Dodge this season. They have won, I believe, 7 of the 8 races so far. The only Ford is the guy who's fastest right now, with Richard Kinghart winning at Atlanta. But all the other races have been won by Toyota or Dodge drivers. So Chevy would like to get a W in the win column. No question about it. And they might do so with Alonso there in the 2nd position. So it's Richard Kinghart, Herschel Irvin Alonso, Patrick Smith, Ace Garcia, points leader John Stewart, who holds the points lead ahead of 6 points over Brad Stover. Then it's Justin Roberts, Matthew Phillips, Cookie Helms, Trey Bartow, and Tristan Allen. Right behind those guys, we got Brad Stover, who's 2nd in the points. Nathan Stapleton, Jonathan Wong, Julio Caesar, Garrett Sonor, another change. Fitzwater just went to the 6th position, and Aaron Walpole just went to 4th. So great runs by those guys, trying to get a good starting position for tomorrow night's race. So we'll have to see how it all goes down, but a lot of guys keep on getting fast times, and we still got at least 4 more minutes left in this session.
Yeah, and not really anything to think about. Just wow. Just the wow factor in this.
This has been one of the crazier qualifying sessions we have seen so far. Not crazy by these guys crashing all over the place and not had any contact here tonight, which is fantastic. They just keep on getting faster and faster as the session goes along, and it is rather remarkable, in my opinion, that these guys are clocking in the times that they are here. They're going about a second faster than they were on the original version of Richmond, so it's a big difference between 2 versions of one racetrack, but we're getting a good one here for Richmond. I think we're going to have a good race tomorrow for the Norfolk Southern 400. So Kinghart, he's been able to stay up top ever since he got up there, so it's looking pretty good for the Atlanta winner right now. Trying to locate him on the racetrack. And I don't know if he is on the racetrack, because there he is. He's on the pit lane right now, getting some service to his race car.
Yep, there's Diego Yepes, the torchbearer for American Motorsports, my team.
He is, I believe, 6th in the points coming into this race. I can't quite remember. I don't have below 5th place written down, but he is still in the top 10. He's been doing a great job for American Motorsports, and he's currently, we'll see where he is here in the standings. I'm trying to locate him. Not doing too well. 38th right now for Diego Yepes. Remember Jesse Turner. He was one of the fastest guys earlier on in the session. He's now 39th. And that just shows you how much these guys have been getting faster as the session has gone along. We saw Rakowski up there for a while. Roger Ray was up there. I mean, all these guys have fallen off, and it's amazing just how fast these guys have gotten later on in this session. We'll see how Jesse Turner and these guys can do if they can improve their times, but right now it's looking pretty good for the 47 to possibly get what I would believe be his first pole of the season here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, driving for Tanker Motorsports.
Yeah, and the time for qualifying is running down, but speeds are going up. I would definitely not be surprised if Kinghart got knocked off of the hot seat.
It almost looks like they've fallen off, however. We haven't seen any change in the top 10 in quite a while, so it looks like all the action might be done. And it might very well be veteran Richard Kingart in the 47. Oh, we got an issue there. Brad Stover just pushing it a little too hard, and kaboom goes his engine. He was 14th at the time, but of course this will not affect his position in the starting field for tomorrow's race, so hopefully he can stay out of the way of Ace Garcia. Ace Garcia is just going to stop right there, so no major incident there, which is good. See where Garcia is. He's 5th. Great run for Garcia in this session. Still going for his first career Chick-fil-A Cup Series win as well. But he's had a more rather successful career than Tristan Allen has, so hasn't been too bad for Ace Garcia. But it looks like this is how it's going to line up for tomorrow night's race, and it's going to be Richard Kingart in the 47, most likely. Now, of course, you know, Trey, he called Casey Hoffman to win the uncharted qualifying session, but he didn't. So, like you said, he could get knocked off here in these last few seconds, like we saw with Rutkowski doing in the uncharted qualifying session earlier, but I think this is going to be it right here, because they have fallen off rather significantly, and I don't think they're going to beat the time that Richard Kingart got in the number 47, so it'll be the Tanker Motorsports driver driving a Ford. Will most likely start on the pole position for tomorrow's 80-lap race.
I believe this should do it. We got 8 seconds left. And 5, 4, 3.
And I think 2. This will be it. And it won't. They're going to add just a little bit more time, enough for these guys to complete one more lap. But I don't think it's going to have too much of a factor. There's Matt Dallio. He won here in season number 2. And I think it was his 2nd career Chick-fil-A Cup Series win. So, Dallio knows how to get it done here, but he's going to be starting 21st, so not too bad for Dallio. He's had a tough season so far, but we'll have to see what he can do. But Richard Kingart not having a tough day, I can say that. Pole position for the Norfolk Southern 400 at Richmond. He's going to start alongside Hairgel Arvin Alonso on the front row. Patrick Smith, highest rookie yet again. He was actually, no, Patrick Smith was one of the highest rookies at Rockingham, but he did not finish too well because he came down the pit lane in that race. Aaron Walpole and Ace Garcia, top 5. Zachary Fitzwater, Matthew Phillips, John Stewart, Justin Roberts, and Cookie Helms, the top 10 starting positions here. Trey Bartow, great run for him. And the number 4, Tristan Allen, will start 12th. And you take a look at the rest of the results. Got a couple of ties. Walpole and Garcia are tied, so Garcia will start 4th alongside Patrick Smith. And take a look and see where the other ties are, and we'll tell you who's got the advantage on those. Andrew Miller will start ahead of William Brock. And I believe, oh boy, that's a close one between Justin Heath and Alexander Rowe. We're going to have to check in on that and see who starts ahead of the other. Christian Vargas, Cody Sill. Cody Sill will start ahead of Christian Vargas. And I believe Juan Garcia will start ahead of Jesse Turner, and Diego Yepes will start ahead of Luke Rainey. Quite a few ties in this session. But everybody got a time in, which is great. And we're going to have a good race tomorrow. 80 laps here at Richmond for the Norfolk Southern 400. So thank you guys very much for watching. Congratulations to Richard Kingart on his pole position here at Richmond. And tomorrow we're going to have ourselves the Norfolk Southern 400 over on Napa Fan. I've said it enough. 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And it's going to be a good one. So that's enough about the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. But later on, we got Indy Lights from Richmond and the IndyCar Series from Richmond over on Napa Fan at 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. Eastern Time, respectively. So thank you guys very much for watching. Congratulations to Richard Kingart, and I will see you guys later.